how do you lead grown men that are the best athletes in the world and that are multimillionaires?
So I was never a huge talker, Matt. I was show me. I wanted to go out there and practice every day and let them in the weight room. I was that guy that wanted, and I didn't learn from, you know who I learned from? Watching Olin Kreutz. Olin was the leader of our team, but I wanted to lead by example. I wasn't a rah-rah guy. You didn't hear me giving pregame speeches, nothing like that crap. I didn't believe in that stuff. If you weren't ready to play on Sunday, then you weren't ready to play. If you needed someone to hype you up before the game, you're doing the wrong damn thing. Get out there, get prepared during the week. Sunday was a bonus for the work you put in during the week. That's the way I looked at Sundays. It's the you get to go play football for 3 hours because you busted your butt during the week. But yeah, I never did say a lot. Now I would, if guys screwed up, I would say things, and I expect them to do the same thing to me when I screwed up. So there was a lot of that, but I didn't. I wanted to be a lead by example guy when it came to football.
People always ask me, Matt, how did you start your podcast? Well, the first thing to do is just start. And by doing that, you're going to need a good production company. And that's why I roll with 10 Bears Production. You hear me talk to owner Eli every single week. He has become a staple of this podcast because he's an overall great guy, and he makes this look unbelievably awesome. You would be shocked at how well he will do for you. So make sure you go to 10bearsproduction.com, reach out to Eli. He is available, whether it's a promo video, whether it's a social media post, or whether you're ready to start a podcast, he will help you. And it could look just as good, if not maybe better than this. If you have better ideas than me, he will help you create your idea and make it flourish. 10 Bears Production is the way to go. Welcome to another week of Level Up with Matt Rogers. I'm your host, Matt Rogers. With me, as always, the man, Eli Adelman.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm always good. How are you?
I'm really good, man.
So when you're talking now, people can't see you, right? Because when we have guests, you don't go on camera.
Yeah, I'm a behind the camera kind of guy.
But people love you, bro. All the comments are like, why isn't Eli on camera more?
Well, maybe we'll get another camera for that.
Insightful.
I actually could do it, but I didn't today.
Do I look different today?
You look...
What's different about me? I'm going to let you guess because I'm leading with something.
Man. You got a pedicure. No,
close, but I did not get a pedicure, but you're along the right lines.
Okay.
What is it?
Manicure? Facial.
Close. Something happened with my face.
Oh, man.
Can you see it? Zoom in. Do I have less hair anywhere?
Did you? I don't know, man. You have like no hair on your head, so. Oh, did you get your nose done?
I got my nose waxed, my ears waxed, and my back waxed.
Nose waxing? How did that go?
So, dude, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, let's call it what it is. Like, a lot of guys trim their nose hairs and ear hairs. Dude, wax them. My buddy Todd Castle told me like 6 years ago, why are you still trimming your nose? You should wax it. And I was afraid, but it's fantastic.
Is it like hot? Does it burn?
It doesn't burn. It's not hot, but when she pulls it, like I thought she pulled my freaking nose out the first time, but now it's been like 6 years.
Nice. So then you got back two.
Back two.
Nice.
And then I just kind of shave everything else.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you?
Occasionally.
Okay, let me give you a hint for all the men out there.
Oh boy.
Don't kid yourself. It's not 1975 anymore. Women don't want a lot of hair.
Yeah.
That is your tip for the day.
Yes.
And
man tip for the day.
I'm going to bring our guest in that's going to back me up on this. Dude, I'm freaking pumped.
Dude.
I don't know why I led with that, but it just happened because I'm feeling it still in my nose and my back feels so refreshed.
Was it today?
It was literally 20 minutes ago. I went from there to here. Dude. Because I had to get extra pretty for our guest. Who's extra freaking bad, dude.
I like it.
All right, so holy crap. We have had future Hall of Famers on before. We had Bruce Arians who won a Super Bowl. We've had like Darren Waller stuff, that people who may potentially be future Hall of Famers. This is our first actual Hall of Famer that got inducted not too many long ago, 2018. He is one of the top 100 greatest Chicago Bears of all time. He's up there with Walter Payton, Butt Kiss Singletary, one of the baddest dudes on the freaking planet, and an awesome guy. Multiple All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to talk about all that. His mindset. How do you become a Hall of Famer? How do you get to a Super Bowl? What does that look like? Did you ever want to quit? What was the best part, worst part? All of it. We're talking about the one and only, one of the baddest linebackers in football and Chicago Bear history, the one and only Brian Urlacher.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Dude, what an introduction, man. That might be the best one I've ever heard.
Dude, because you're the freaking best. And so
your voice
am I.
is amazing. Such a good announcer. I love it.
Thank you. I wish,
Man, you're good.
You got to come to Tennessee and kick it with me on one of the games I announce.
I went to Tennessee.
What do you mean?
I don't like, there's so many people in Tennessee. I went downtown Tennessee.
Yes.
With my daughter and a lot of her friends, and there's people everywhere.
I remember. Don't you remember we were texting? I tried to get you into a bar, but you had like 70 people.
74 people with me. It was a great place. I like Tennessee, but I don't really like going down and walking around there. It's just too many people. Stressful.
You call me because like one of my clients, like we have Luke Bryan's bar, Jason Aldean's bar, Miranda Lambert. So like, people want to get on the guest list and stuff. And of course, if Brian Urlacher comes in town, he's getting on the guest list. And I'm like, so, who's on the list? And you gave me like 25 names. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
Well, the problem was I wasn't planning on going. And I surprised me. I was flying from Florida back to Arizona, and my daughter was in Tennessee for her friend's birthday, 21st. I was like, I'm going to surprise Pamela. So I stopped off, and there was like 20 of them. I was like, she goes, where can we go? I go, let me text my boy, Matt. Anyway, I appreciate you trying.
We still got y'all in. I just couldn't get a bunch.
We had fun. Don't worry about that. We had a great time. I did, at least.
Did you know that your daughter just texted me again last Saturday?
Pamela?
Yeah, Pamela. She says, hey, I just wanted to reach out since we booked flights, but I'll be back in Nashville with my girls for her 21st birthday on October 7th through 10th. I said, oh, snap, Nash Vegas is your home. She said, it absolutely is my favorite place to go. I'd go there every month if I could. And I said, what do you need? She goes, whatever place you can get us into. And I said, I got you, girl.
So, man, I told her to give you plenty of heads up this time. By the way, my other daughter, Riley, she goes, what are you doing there? I go, I'm going on Matt Rogers' podcast. She goes, he's the GOAT. Tell him I said hi.
I freaking love
She
Riley.
said you're the GOAT, bro.
Dude, if you
She loves you.
How old is she? 15?
She's 17.
17. So if a 17-year-old tells you you're the GOAT, like, come on, I'm 43 now. I'm just trying to be current, bro.
No, you're so young. Yeah, it's amazing. She's like, oh, he's the GOAT. He always likes my stuff on Instagram. I said, yeah, that makes you the GOAT, bro.
Dude, she's awesome. You have a great family. So let's talk about your family quick. $2. You have Pamela, who's 21. 21. And then you have Riley, who you just said was 17. You have a son, Kennedy, who's also, he's what, 16, 17 right now?
16. So Riley's a senior this year. Kennedy's a junior.
Okay. And everyone's in Arizona with you?
Well, Pamela's in Kansas. She's going to graduate this year. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's a senior this year when she starts. She'll graduate KU this year. And my little ones are here with us, yes, in Arizona.
Let's talk about your son, Kennedy, because I was looking at him on Instagram like, dude, he's got the football look. He's like, you like to scare him like everybody else on the golf course. And dude, okay, Eli, Brian does this stuff when he golfs. I can't wait to go golfing with him. It's going to happen.
It's going to be so fun.
He puts out a fake rattlesnake that looks real and scares the crap out of everybody.
Bro.
And it's so freaking funny. And you did it to your son, Kennedy, and he was like still trying to be like, Dad, that's
He
stupid.
did the Karate Kid thing. Going, he did this thing and jumped up in the air. It gets everybody, man. Yeah, my wife gets real mad at me. I got her. Sometimes I get her in the house. When we go play golf, she's getting got for sure.
Yes. OG Jennifer Frost. Before now, she's Jennifer Urlacher. Congratulations. She's not ugly. Seen her one time.
She is not. She definitely outkicked my coverage on that one, but much like we all did.
She was
as well, by the way.
She was like America's Top Model, right?
Yeah, she was on before I met her. Yeah, she was on. This is like, so we met in 2009, but yeah, this is probably 04, 05. She was sassy on that show. I never watched it, but I've seen clips of her. Man, just like she is now, very opinionated.
All right, so how did you meet? Like, did you see her on TV and it's like, oh, she's really good looking. I hope I go out with her. What happens? What does that life look like when you're you and she's her? How does that come together? Okay,
there was no TV matchmaking. Matt Rogers. I was in Vegas at Greg Olson's bachelor party. Mm-hmm. There was myself and probably 10 other guys. And she was there with, she was out. She lived there at the time, but she was out for a friend's birthday. The friend I knew. Cramsey, which I knew, which was good because he was a friend of mine, and a friend of hers too. And they kind of introduced us. I saw her and I was like, "Who's that?" She said they sat at the table across from us, and right when she walked in, I was like, "Who's that right there? I want to talk to her." And I don't usually like. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little shy. I don't really go up and talk to women, but her was different. Plus, I had the in because Bill knew her as well. So we met there. Hung out a little bit that weekend, not a ton, but then she couldn't shake me after that.
So, okay. So like you say you're shy. Like, what does that mean? Like, dude, you're freaking you. Like you're one of the baddest dudes on the planet. Like, how are you shy? Like, you don't look at her and say like, all right, dude, this is mine. Like the way you look at a quarterback that you're about to just freaking devour. You don't look at her the same way and just like,
No, it's a little different. I just don't know how she's going to react. You know, with the quarterbacks, you don't care how they react, honestly, when you hit them. But with her, I didn't want to shoot myself down early. You know, I want to give myself a chance.
Right.
She didn't know who I was, which is even better. She had no idea who I was when I met her, which was great. And then we were on and off for a couple of years, and then we got married in 2016, and it's been great ever since, Matt. Been married 6 years now.
Why is that good that she didn't know who you were?
Because I knew, so, you know, you hear these stories of guys dating girls just because the girls know who they are,
right?
And they want this. She was not that. She's never been that. And she's been amazing from day one. I, on the other hand, am not so smart sometimes when I make decisions and do things. So we were in and out for a while. We were on and off. My fault most of the time. And then, we finally ended up getting married in 2016. But yeah, she's great. But yeah, I didn't want a girl who I guess they call them jersey chasers. I guess you could say maybe she was not that.
So when you say like you were on and off, like did she finally say like, look, dude, if we're gonna do this, I need you to focus and stay serious, or were you like, I don't want to lose you, I'm gonna focus, stay serious? Like, how did it become solid?
She never said anything. It was kind of understood. Well, plus the last 3 years of our relationship, I was playing, so it was kind of hard. When I played, I was all over the place, man. But when I shut it down and had more time to do things I wanted to do and be with my family more, that's when I kind of got back into wanting to settle down with her.
And now you have a beautiful family house. I noticed recently you're slapping each other with tortillas. You did the tortilla slap challenge.
Oh, that hurts. I didn't realize. And me and my son did it too. My son like grazed my eye with the tortilla like perfectly. Yeah, I'm going to post one of me and my son a little later on. My son and daughter did it too. Riley and Katie did it last night too. It was great. That's a fun thing.
So I was going to ask you about Kennedy. He's going into his senior year. He's in Arizona.
Junior. He'll be a junior.
Oh, snap. He's only going to be a junior. So
he'll be a junior, yeah.
Is it like, dad's protege? Does he love it? Is he a linebacker? What does he do?
No protege. He's him. He doesn't want to be me. He wants to be Kennedy. And I appreciate that about him. I love that about him. He's 5'11", 185. He plays free safety. Same position I played in high school. Right. Dude loves football, man. He busts his ass. I love this about him. Football wise, school wise, I don't have to check on him. I know he's gonna be getting his stuff done. Like I don't have to tell him to work out. I don't have to tell him to be on time. My kids, all three of my kids, by the way, are pretty good about that. They understand what they have to do. They get it done. But when you athletically, you have to sometimes push some kids. Not him. He wants to do everything on his own merit, and I appreciate that. He's got. He got a few offers last year from pretty solid schools, so he's excited about that. But this year will be big because he's starting at Chandler High, which is a big deal here in Arizona.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, solid. Man. Congratulations. And just
Thank you.
Sounds like an overall good kid. You don't have to worry about him. What's it like, your dad's a freaking NFL Hall of Famer. Does he ask you questions, or is it kind of like, I don't really want to ask you questions because I want to do me?
He asked, so thank gosh, the last couple of years, it's like I know something finally about football to him, because a few years he was like, this dude's a dumbass. I don't want to talk to him about anything. And now he finally he'll come home from practice and be like, okay, Dad, it was cover 2. This guy ran that. This guy ran that. And it's just we can sit there and talk and decipher plays. He asks the right questions, by the way. There's easy questions in football. What leverage here, what leverage there. But he's asking technical questions where I'm like, dude, you're pretty smart. You understand what these guys are supposed to do. So we'll talk about that. He'll show me plays from practice and we'll dissect them. But I love it. I'm not trying to coach him, not whatsoever. I am not his coach. If he wants help, I'll be there for him. But I'm his number one fan and is also his biggest critic at the same time. I will let him know.
Isn't it the best feeling though when your kids actually want your advice about something?
It really is. Because for a while, what's your oldest?
My oldest is 16, and then I got a 14-year-old boy.
So you have 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and a
you were texting me earlier, and I'm like, dude, when are we gonna get together and hang out? You're like, I'm ready. You're the one with 75 kids. I'm like,
yeah.
No, but
keep having more.
I feel like because you and I are the same age. Did you graduate high school in 96?
96, yes.
So same with me. So I have a 16-year-old, and I feel like, and I've told you this before, Eli, like with Braden in sports, I feel like I kind of screwed up because I was young when I had him, like 27. I'm like, my boy's going to be just like me and play football. And I think I pushed too hard, and he ran the other way. And then so with Mason, my 14-year-old who actually is playing football and likes it, I lay back, and now he's starting to come to me, which is such a good feeling.
That's what I kind of did with mine. I didn't want to push them to do anything. My parents didn't push me to do anything. I just wanted to play everything because there's nothing else to do where I grew up. So we did everything. But I didn't want to push my kids to anything. My oldest daughter, Pamela, retired. I think she was 7 or 8. She retired from sports. She played goalie 1 year in soccer. And she's like, I'm good. No more for me. Right. Riley played basketball. She was really good. She had Tommy John surgery like 4 years ago. It never got better. So she kind of retired. She was a good hooper too. And she's tall.
Yeah.
She retired, but Kennedy likes football. I wish he played basketball. Duke can dunk. He's 5'11".
Are you kidding me?
Two-handed. No, I was shocked. He goes, I dunked there. I said, what? You dunked? He goes, yeah, two-handed. I said, dude, good job.
Dude,
he's strong, but he's a good athlete.
And that's great. I mean, and how you talk about your kids and they have that work ethic. I want to bring this back to you because, reading up about you, I remember all through college and then after college when, I stopped playing football and watching, like, dude, you were the man. Like, you were the one that I watched. On offense, it was Peyton Manning that, was the best quarterback. And on defense, it was Brian Urlacher. Like, it was, you made the all 2000s team. Like, you're
the decade, all decades, 2000s, 2000, 2010. That's a big deal to me.
It's a huge deal. I mean, dude, yeah. So
like
when you
there's great players in that decade. There's Zach Thomas was in there. Ray was in there. Derek Brooks. There's some great linebackers in those 2000s. So I was definitely proud of that one.
Yeah. When during that period, I would watch football. You talked about 2 defensive players, Brian Urlacher and Ray Lewis. And then on offense, you talked about, Peyton Manning, obviously. So, but going back, to your story and kind of attribute it to your kids' work ethic, I read up on you that you grew up in Pasco, Washington, which that's kind of like the 7th circle of hell on earth, right? Pasco. I got my buddy Chad Ward went there, and then you go from Pasco to New Mexico, and it just what I read was, and Brian just really focused his energy towards sports, and you played a ton of sports, and you were super athletic. Like, tell me about that. Like, did you have a rough life, and sports fueled you, or what happened?
I wouldn't say rough. I was fortunate in that I had. So my parents divorced. We moved from Pasco when I was, I think, 7 down to Lovington because that's where my grandparents lived. My mom's grandparents. My mom picked us up. My brother, my sister, and myself moved us down to Lovington, and we started in the spring semester. There's nothing to do there, Matt. There's 10,000 people there, but for a kid, there's nothing to do, dude. Now it's different than it was when I grew up. But so we would literally play football on the street. We go play. The great thing was they had low-goal basketball goals all around the town. Like all elementary schools, they had 8-foot rims. So we go dunk. We play full-court basketball 5 hours a day, and then we go football, basketball, track, or baseball, whatever sport you did. And I mean, my parents always and my mom didn't have to push me to do anything. So my mom was single until she married my stepdad when I was in 8th grade. So from 7 to 14, I was a single mom. My mom raised myself, my brother, my sister, and myself. So we didn't have a ton, but my mom was a beast, man. She worked 2 or 3 jobs to make sure we made, we could get by, but definitely didn't grow up rough or anything like that. But we had to work for everything we got. That's for sure.
It reads, when I read up about you, it reads as if you and your mom were tight. It doesn't talk about your dad too much. Is that the truth? Were you and your dad not close and your mom were tight, or like how?
Yeah, well, my real dad, I didn't see that much, honestly. I didn't talk to him much either. The older I've got, the more I've learned to kind of forgive those things because he wasn't really there for us. But man, as a father now, you look back, maybe he has some things going on in his life because we weren't there. It's not easy to get from Pasco to Lovington to visit. We did go see him when I was in 7th grade. We went and saw him. And I saw him again when I was a junior in college. And I saw him again my 2nd year in the NFL. And he ended up passing away my 5th year in the NFL. But we were when he passed away, we were good. I had no ill will towards him, nothing like that. Just sometimes people go through things in their life and they prioritize things differently. We weren't at the top of his list as far as I was concerned, and that was okay with me. But my stepdad, he stepped in there, and my mom was a great disciplinarian. She was really good. She kept us in line. But my stepdad was really good as well. We had a board. You can't tell, but it's way bigger than this.
Right.
And his name was Uncle Henry. So when we messed up, we got swatted with Uncle Henry. It only took one time for Uncle Henry to meet my bottom end for me to not screw up. So I was pretty straight laced. I didn't get a lot of trouble. My dad and my mom were very good about making sure we did things the right way.
So swatted means like swatted, like you got smacked.
Like bent over the chair with the board against your butt.
So what would you say, honestly, to parents that are against spanking their kids nowadays?
Man, I spank my kids. I don't have to anymore because they're pretty good. I haven't spanked them in years, but I'm glad my parents spanked me. I think you got to lay it down. I know you can put them in the corner. You can do this, you can do that, but I'm a big fan of spanking. I also got swats from my high school principal one time too, which was not warranted anyway. But yeah, you gotta spank your kids. No doubt about it. Not with switches, nothing like that, but you gotta discipline your kids. No doubt about it.
I got discipline from my parents. And I think so much nowadays we confuse discipline with disappointment. Like discipline's different. Like discipline puts you in line, keeps you, doing the right thing. And it doesn't make your kids feel like you're disappointed in them. It just, it keeps them on the right direction. It doesn't bring any shame. Like I can't stand people that just don't discipline their kids anymore. It's like, dude, sorry, when you come over my house, little Johnny can't stand on my $2,000 coffee table, and I don't care what he identifies as. He's a boy. Like, come on. Like, can we use a little discipline and common sense here?
I am with you. Common sense. I love that word, man. Yeah, we could use a lot of common sense these days, Matt. I'm not going to discipline someone else's kid. No chance doing that. Unless they give me the green light, then I will. But I'm not going to do that. But I appreciate it when, and most people that I know, most friends of mine and people that I associate with, they discipline their kids pretty well.
That's awesome, man. No, you got to.
Yeah.
Going back to football, because when I read about it, it's when you went in high school and you were really, really good. Like you were a running back, you caught the ball, you had you're shaking your head. No, you weren't running back. I thought you were a receiver.
Every once in a while I play running back, but I was a receiver, bro.
There you go. Okay, so receiver and played defense. Like, dude, you did freaking you returned. That's what it was. You returned kicks.
I didn't come off the field in high school. Literally did not come off the field. I was on defense, offense, extra point, kickoff return, punt, and punt return. I did not come off the field in my senior year in high school. I played every snap.
And you wanted to go to Texas Tech, but they didn't offer you.
Did. Man, yeah. So the reason why I went Texas Tech's 80 miles from where I grew up.
Dude.
And I went to their camp right before my senior year. They invited me to go to their football camp. I was like, yes. It's a receiver quarterbacks camp or receiver whatever. I was the most outstanding camper. 500 kids. I was picked as the most outstanding camper of their football camp. I'm like, they're going to give me a scholarship for sure. There's no way they can't, right?
Yep.
500 kids. I'm the best. They're giving me a scholarship. We appreciate it if you could walk on here. I was like, I can't afford to walk on at your school. Who's going to pay for my tuition?
Yep.
So luckily for me, Coach Frantoni at UNM, I went on a trip there and they offered me a scholarship, and that was the only offer I had, Matt. One offer.
Are you kidding me? So keep going.
I'm glad because it worked out. It couldn't work out any better. I went to the school where I was supposed to go because my first 2 years, I played linebacker under Coach Fran, and our D coordinator was Gary Patterson, who was the coach at TCU. Great. I had some great coaches. And then my second 2 years, Rocky Long came in, and Bronco Mendenhall was his D coordinator. Bronco was the head coach at BYU. Then he went to Virginia. Yeah. Anyway, so they let me be a football player. I played free safety. I played receiver. I returned punts. I turned kicks, and they just let me play football. And the reason I did most of those things is because we weren't very good and we needed someone to do it. And I was the guy.
I think it's fascinating because, nowadays you have so many kids that when things aren't going their way in sports, they either quit or transfer. And I know that there's certain circumstances where they should transfer, but for the most part, like most kids who would be in your position at that time wanted to go to Texas Tech and they only got one offer. Most of them wouldn't even do it or things wouldn't go their way, but it shaped who you are. So tell me about that, like mentality wise, when you bust it, you give your best and you don't get the offer you want. Like, what is it? How do you overcome that?
I got an offer though. My mindset was, man, I got an opportunity to go to college for free and play football. That was my mindset going in there because not a lot of kids from where I grew up get a chance to go play college football, especially at D1 level. So I was like, man, this is unreal. I got a chance to go play college football and get my education, obviously. So I was ecstatic. You know, I thought Albuquerque was far. Albuquerque is 300 miles from where I grew up. I was like, man, I'm going to be so far from home. It's not that far. But back then I'm like, God, it's going to be 5 hours. It's so far. It's not that bad. But it was an opportunity for me, like I said, to get my education and continue playing football. And obviously, I didn't realize my mindset wasn't go to the NFL when I went to college. My mindset was get your degree, which ended up not happening, but get your degree. I left after football season, my senior year, I went and started training, so I didn't finish my spring semester.
I think it worked out okay. At one point, you had one of the most lucrative contracts in the NFL for a defensive player, and you made the Hall of Fame, and you made the All-Decade team, and you're one of the best Chicago Bears of all time. I think it worked out pretty well.
And, hey, I went to the College Football Hall of Fame too, Matt.
Look at that.
I got inducted there. So you know who's in my class? Peyton Manning.
Right?
He's in my College Football Hall of Fame class. That's pretty cool.
Okay, we're obviously going to talk about because it was you and Peyton in the Super Bowl, and I know they won, but you also I think you did some TV stuff with Peyton and stuff. Like, were you and Peyton cool, or is he the guy you always hated, or the guy that you love? Like, what's that like?
If you hate Peyton Manning, you got problems.
Right?
Aside from you not liking him because he played for the Colts or whatever, because they're not that dude's the greatest. I got so much respect for him. Love his commercials.
Right.
Love. I just saw him at a golf tournament a couple months ago. Everything he stands for is amazing. And everything he does, his commercials are funny. He's funny. He's witty.
Yep.
And it was a great player. So, competitor, played through all those injuries and everything he did. But yeah, I got a ton of respect for him.
So, okay, when you, I want to get to the Super Bowl in a minute. Hold up. We're going to get to the Super Bowl and NFL in a minute, but I don't want to lose this moment of you at New Mexico. You go in freshman and sophomore year. You don't do much under that coaching staff. They didn't utilize you. Did you even start?
Well, as a freshman, I did not redshirt, but I played special teams all season long. That was it. I probably had, I was on all 4 special teams, and I think I played 6 snaps at linebacker. That was it.
Wow.
And my second year, I did not start. Well, we had good players there, man. People don't, I say they're good players. They were. We had 2 seniors that were linebackers who started. We ran a 4-2-5 that year, Coach Patterson's defense. And we had 2 seniors, Blake Irwin and Bart Bernard, who were 3-year starters. So they started over me. But I split time with Bart. Ended up leading our team in tackles that season as playing half the time. Had a couple picks, 4 or 5 sacks.
You led the team in tackles and you split time?
Split time with Bart, yeah. So I was producing when I was on the field.
Okay, so that is frustrating because you're saying, are you frustrated that you're leading the team in tackles and it's like, you're only giving me half time? Why?
Let me tell you why I wasn't frustrated. I didn't know I was leading team tackles. I didn't care, honestly, man. I was having fun. I was still learning how to be a college football player. I was 225, 230, whatever I was. I wasn't huge yet. But I was still learning to play linebacker. I was a free safety in high school. I was just reacting to what I saw. Mm-hmm. So didn't know what I was doing for the most part, but I was making plays. I could definitely get to the football in a hurry. And that's pretty much what I did my first 2 years. And then Coach Long came in.
That's what I was going to say. So was it for Coach Long, for you, and Coach Mendenhall, when they came in, is that when life really changed for you in a positive way? That
changed the whole trajectory of my football career, I feel like. Because if I stay at linebacker, I don't think I have the success that I did at free safety, or people don't see my athletic ability. Because when you're a free safety at 245, people are like, damn, that's a big free safety.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he playing free? Is he fast? And I could run. So I just think once they got there and they let me play free, wide receiver, return punts, cover. I was a gunner on the punt team. They let me be a football player just like I was in high school. And I excelled. Luckily I didn't get hurt. I was tired as heck after games, but I loved it, man. They were so fun to play for. And I think playing for Coach Long and Coach Mendenhall, their mentality of effort. Every play you run to the football was just instilled in all of our minds, man. It just it happened again when Lovey got to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I had it instilled in college, but even more so when Lovey got there to Chicago for my second head coach. But I love playing for Coach Long and Bronco Mendenhall. They were fun. They challenged us every day.
What's one thing every kid that wants to be a college football player needs to know?
Oh, that's a good question. It's going to be hard. It's enough because so wherever you come from, when you get there, you're not going to have a lot of friends. Like when I got there, no one liked me because I got people to know who I was. I'm sorry. The kids in my freshman class, we all got along, but everybody else, no one really likes you. You're a freshman. You're probably not going to play. You're going to be looked down on. It's difficult, especially getting to it's different now because these kids go to school in the spring of their senior year. They go to college, right?
Yeah.
So it's so much different now than it was when I was in college. But for me, it's hard to just get to adapt to college life. It was so hard for me. Leaving home, I didn't want to leave home. My girlfriend was there. I wanted to stay there. My parents were there. My brother and sister were there. I wanted to stay home. But it's just hard to adapt to a new scenery, a new situation. Just be adaptable, I guess. If you want to play college football, the faster you adapt, the more success you will have.
Did you ever want to quit, or were you always just focused? You knew it was going to happen.
I didn't want to quit. No, I love football. I did not want to quit. I almost transferred when Coach Franchione left. He went to TCU, and I thought I wanted to go to TCU. But then you have to sit out a year. And thank gosh I did not because of what happened. When I didn't know anything about Coach Long. That's why once I met him, I was like, oh, hell no, I don't want to transfer. This was the man.
So when he came in, is he the one that said, no, we're taking you from linebacker, we're moving you to free safety?
What happened, we were doing, you couldn't practice right away when they got there. So we were doing some 7-on-7 just off cards, trying to figure out the defense before we knew it. And I was playing middle linebacker. And he had created a position at UCLA when he was there for a kid at UCLA who was really good. And he was like, we want to make a position called Lobo. Would you be interested in playing free safety? I was like, I'd love to. What do I got to do? I go, am I too big? He goes, no. I mean, you're fast enough. You played safety in high school. So tried it out. Man, I lined up at 11 yards every play in a linebacker stance. And I just read those guards. That's all I did my last 2 years in college.
And you led the team in tackles probably, right?
Oh, my junior year, I led the nation in tackles my junior year.
Let's go.
It's not, Matt. It's not good. It's not good.
Why?
We were 3-9 because they're all downfield. They're all 15, 12 yards downfield. I mean, there were some obviously at the line of scrimmage, but
okay,
178. Go ahead.
Let me be honest with you because I've talked to a lot of NFL players, and I'm just going to say this the way it's coming in my mind. I'm going to say it. Some of them are really slow, dude, like a little punch drunk. And when they talk, you are not that way. And you took a lot of hits and you gave a lot of hits. Do you battle with migraines, headaches, concussion, anything? Because you don't seem like you do.
I do not. So I had a headache. I don't get headaches often. So when I do get a headache, I'm like, something's wrong. So I had a headache 2 Decembers ago, and I was like, man, what's wrong? I had China virus. That's what was wrong with me. So I knew something was wrong. So I went and got tested. I was like, okay, so I know my body pretty well, Matt, but I don't get headaches. Now I'm not super sharp, but I can have a conversation, and it may change. I'm only 44. There could be things that happen in my future that change that. But for right now, I'm pretty sharp for me. And I don't, I do mumble a lot though when I talk, but that's always good.
Don't let anyone speak that over you. You're going to remain sharp. Kind of like Moses in his old age. Are you a Bible guy? Do you follow the Lord? Do you read the Bible?
I do. I don't read the Bible because I don't understand it, man. There's, if you give me we didn't have a Bible that tells you what it really means. Because when you read it, do you understand what the Bible, when you read it, do you understand it?
But it took me a while. I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, you grew up with it then, because when I read it, I'm like, and we go to a great church, and our pastor Chad is the man, and he'll show us a passage and be like, all right, this is what it really means. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. If they would just put that in there, I read so much more. Because I read it, I'm like, man, what is, I don't understand.
Proverbs is the bomb.
Okay. I don't read it often, but I do love it when our pastor gets up there and tells us what it means and what it means to him and how it's supposed to mean. And he's not judgy. He's not, he goes, what's he say? He goes, church doesn't make the church. You guys make the church or something. Right. Our church is you. It's amazing listening to him talk. And our church is fun. It's only like 45 minutes long. They sing 3 songs at the beginning. He talks 3 songs at the end. Boom, out. It's the greatest.
Do you but from like a relationship standpoint, like with Jesus, has that grown for you?
It has, and my wife's helped that a lot. By the way, she's when I played, I wasn't into the gospel. I didn't, I wouldn't go to Bible study on Sunday mornings before the games. I went a couple times.
Wait, you and Jay Cutler never went to church together? Are you serious?
We played on Sundays, Matt. That's what we did. And I'm gonna tell you what kind of pushed me away from it. Honestly, when I was playing, what I didn't like, and this is the hypocritical guys who go out there on Sundays and they're scoring touchdowns and they're beating their chest and they're going all the praise to God. I'm okay with that if you live your life that way. If you're living your personal life by the book and doing things the way that they're supposed to be done in God's eyes, I'm okay with that. But don't go out there and beat your chest on Sunday and point to God and you got a wife or you got another girl pregnant. Oh, is that what he wants you to do? Oh, I didn't know that. Man, maybe I should go back and rethink the way I'm doing my life then. And don't go out there and beat your chest and you're beating your wife. Don't do that. That's what kind of pushed me away from all the guys. And those are the guys who push it on you.
Yeah.
They from my opinion, from my experiences, most of those guys who do that, and not just those guys, but there's people that I've met who don't live their lives by the way that they should, according to the way they preach to you.
Yeah.
But they're pushing on you the hardest. I never appreciated that. And that kind of shied me away from all that when I was playing.
I didn't like that. Completely understand. So wow, Eli, holiness and accountability is still in season, huh? It's not just you, it's not just non-believers, it's believers as well. Because talking about this subject, like on one hand, it is the grace of God that leads people to repent. Where I have a challenge, and which is preached massively across the United States, is doesn't really matter what you do. God's grace forgives you.
He's going to forgive you.
So you could just do whatever you want because it's God's grace. And I always tell people, like, dude, grace is not a permission slip to stay the same.
Yes.
It's an invitation for a transformed life. So like, dude, if I'm preaching something and living a different life, why would anybody want what I have? You know what I mean? So it makes me feel good to hear you say that. And that's why I always tell people. It was very
frustrating when I played, man, because everyone's like, oh, you're going to be forgiven. I understand you're going to be forgiven. But doesn't give you a hall pass to keep doing the same things over and over. Change. And I'm not the guy to preach to people because I don't live my life that way. I screw up all the time. There's no doubt about it. I think I try and get better, but I'm a work in progress, man. Just like most people are, I hope, are trying to get better, but I am far from perfect. But the thing that drove me crazy when I played was the guys who claim to be perfect, but then they're living a secret life doing things the way they shouldn't be doing, but they're telling you to do one thing and they're doing another. I did not like that.
Did you ever call them out?
No, it didn't matter to me. I didn't get guys' personal lives. I just didn't. That's what shied me away from that group, if that makes sense. That's what made me not, because those are guys that went to Bible study. Those are the guys who met on Wednesday nights during the week. But then they're doing, like I said earlier, there's other things going on that shouldn't be going on.
That's why, honestly, and I'm glad to hear you say it, because that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I believe it's in the heart of every person to want a king like Jesus. He's just been so misrepresented that they're like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, if that's what it looks like, I'm out. So that's why. That's what
I have to do. I don't want to do it then. Yeah.
I want to represent him well. But I noticed, because like, dude, all of us, we look at who likes our stuff. And sometimes when I post Jesus stuff, I see that you like it and I smile.
Well, I love seeing that stuff. Yeah, I believe I'm a believer, but I just don't live my life the way. I'm not educated enough to go talk to people about it. Like you asked me about if I read. No, I don't read because I don't understand it. So, like I said, if I could read, I guess the Book of Proverbs is what I need to read, according to you.
I am going to get Brian Urlacher a Bible and whatever. You can do whatever you want.
How about a Bible for dummies? Does that work?
It's for all of us.
Yeah, give me one of those.
No, there's different translations. That would be cool. I wrote that down. Man. I'm gonna send that to you, man, because that's really
thanks,
cool.
Matt.
I freaking love you. I really think like
man.
In the latter, like in the next, because dude, we're the same age. I think you're only like 5 months older than me.
Yeah,
and 44. Everything you do, I'm 43. You turn 44 in May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I turned 44 in September. So, I mean, we're close.
Dude, you were a young graduate in 96 then.
I know, dude. I wish my parents would have held me back 1 year.
Dude, me too. I think about that all the time. Because I was young I didn't turn 18.
I know.
So
If you would have got held back, then maybe you could have been a Hall of Famer.
Dude, I would have been playing quarterback still. Matt, I would be playing quarterback in the NFL still right now. If my parents would have held me back, I would have probably not played receiver or DB. No. I'd have been a quarterback for sure, 1,000%.
Dude,
man,
that is so funny. A Hall of Famer's wishing he would have had an extra year so he could have achieved more in football. That's why.
Yes, I wouldn't have been so young.
Dude, you are the freaking man. So your senior year,
funny.
you lead the nation in everything. Thank God you don't have any concussions or head trauma or anything like that. And I'm praying that over
else.
you. You're not going to have that. You're going to be
I
good in your older
that.
age. So then you get to the NFL. And you were the ninth pick in the first round for the Chicago Bears. So was it Lovie Smith that drafted you or no?
Dick Duran. Love that dude. I had two amazing head coaches when I was in Chicago. I had Dick Duran my first 4 years and Lovie came in my 5th year. And our D coordinator in my first 4 years was Greg Blosh, who I absolutely love. If Bob Babich, who introduced me for the Hall of Fame, didn't introduce me, it would have been Greg Blosh. But Bob was like, I spent 9 years with Bob. I spent 4 years with Coach Blosh. Both of them like fathers to me. I love them. Good
so
men.
Freaking awesome. And there's something here I want to mention because I know that someone's going to get something out of this. So you're the 9th pick, which sounds awesome. You go in, but dude, you didn't start. You lost your linebacker spot to a guy that I played against in the Rose Bowl, Roosevelt Colvin. So I played for UW.
Beast.
He was a beast, dude. But like I kind of did okay against him. Like I
did you? Okay.
I didn't give up a sack.
That's good. That's better than okay, Matt. He was good. Rosie's get off. So anyway, yeah. So they put me. I was slated to be the starting Sam linebacker my rookie year training camp. Never played Sam in my life, but I'm starting Sam linebacker. I'm like, great. Going to training. I had a hard time all summer, learning the position, learning the technique. 2 weeks in, Rosie beats me out. I get benched. Rosie's the new Sam linebacker. I am now the backup Sam and the starting third down Mike linebacker. So nickel, I go in on third down and I play Mike linebacker. I started the season on the bench, my rookie year, 9th overall pick. Started the season on the bench, backing up Rosie. Rosie was great. He didn't like me my rookie year. He should have liked me. They gave me the job. I didn't even prove myself. They drafted me. They gave me a job because I was drafted number 9 overall. Came in. He didn't like me because he knew he was going to. I had his job. Beat me out 2 weeks in. And then so I became the middle linebacker. Week 2, Barry Minter got hurt at Tampa in the second quarter.
Yep.
And Greg Blosh goes, go play Mike. I was like, huh? He said, go play Mike. I go, Greg, I've never played Mike. He goes, just run to the football. We'll figure it out later. That's what I did those first couple games, man. I had my first 4 games, or my first, I think 6 games, I had 5 or 6 sacks in consecutive games. I had 2 picks. I just run to the football, just playing off of what I saw.
And people would say, and this is what I wanted to hammer home, is that he's a first-round draft pick, gets in there, and gets benched. Week 2, he's on the bench. But as it would play out, he would end up being the NFL Defensive Rookie of the freaking year.
Yeah.
You would end up being the Rookie of the Year, and you were on the bench in week 2. And it was because opportunity, we always say luck is opportunity and preparation meeting.
Yeah.
Is that what it was for you? Like, how does that happen?
If Barry doesn't get hurt, I don't play Mike. I don't know when I move because we hadn't talked about me. We thought eventually maybe year 2 I would play Mike, but they didn't want to give me that responsibility as a rookie because you're calling the huddles, you're getting the calls, you're making adjustments. That's a lot. Luckily for me, I had a guy behind me named Mike Brown who knew everything. Mike was our second round draft pick. He started day 1 until he left the Bears. That dude was my favorite. I can say anything positive. That guy, one of the best football players I've ever played with. Anyway, and right here, nobody better. So luckily he was behind me. So if I screwed up, I knew Mike would correct me. Those first 2 games, Mike and I know I'd be like, hey, is this right? But yeah, right with it. So we go that way. But yeah, if Barry doesn't get hurt, who knows if I ever go to Mike? I don't know, or when I go to Mike.
And then, so whatever happened to Barry after that?
Barry Minter, he was the nicest person you'll ever meet, and he helped me every week watch film, helped me get better, helped me learn the defense. He didn't go back in after I took over at Mike. I started every game from there on out in my career at Mike. But he was not like bitter. He wasn't mean. He was like, hey, let's get you better. Let's make our team better. And if you're better, we'll be better. He was unreal. I think the next year they cut him, or the year after that they got rid of him. But He played, I think, 9 years. Bears from Tulsa. I think Tulsa's where he went to school, but good dude. Just a good guy.
Unbelievable. And then honestly, this is where the legend of Brian Urlacher begins. I know you're laughing about it, but it's true. I mean, you're a 4-time first-team All-Pro. You made second-team All-Pro. You are, again, one of the 100 greatest Bears of all time.
Why can't they say top 10 Bears of all time? Why can't you say that? I was in the top 10 list. Let's just narrow down top 10, man.
Top 10 Bears of all time.
I think I was number 9 on the list. So we'll go with that.
2005 Defensive Player of the Year of the entire freaking NFL. And then, of course, I mean, dude, you had some sick seasons as a team and as an individual. You go to the Super Bowl in 2006. You play Peyton Manning, and it was the greatest offense against the greatest defense. Talk about the Super Bowl. You guys would come up a little short. What happened?
Yeah. So it's funny. I talked to Tank Johnson, old buddy of yours, was an ex-teammate of mine, and he's my friend, actually. We'll talk about this later if you want to. Friends and teammates are different, by the way. Tank is my friend and was my teammate. He asked me, he goes, what do you think the reason was we lost the game? I said, Tank, we gave up 450 yards on offense. They had 200 yards rushing, 250 yards passing. You're not going to win many games if you give up that many yards. I'm not a yards guy. I care about points. But we gave up a lot of points. We just didn't. There's one play that's always going to haunt me that I didn't make. So they got the ball. Mark Anderson, our defensive end, causes a fumble. And I'm running all week long in practice. All we do is scoop and score. That's it. Scoop and score, everything. Fumbles, incomplete passes. We pick it up. We score in the end zone. The ball's on the ground. What do you think I do, Matt?
Fall on it.
Dive on the ball. I try to dive on it and not pick it up and score. There's nobody in front of me. Peyton's right there. He's not going to tackle me. So so mad. I remember this. I tried to dive on it. I knock it towards we get the ball, but if I pick it up, I score. The next 2 plays, we fumble it back to them. Nothing. We don't get anything out of it.
Oh, man.
Excuse me. So that's what I remember of that game. And there's others. We busted a coverage. We hit. Devin runs open and kickoff back. They get the ball. We got 3rd and 12. We get a pick. We got the ball back to our offense. We get it back to them. Next series, we have 3rd and 15. We got them 3rd and 15. Tanks come in to sack Peyton. We're in cover 2.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were in cover 2. Peyton throws it as he's getting hit. I'm like, that's a pick. You can't throw that ball in cover 2. Reggie Wayne is 30 yards behind us. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
One of our safeties played cover 1 and not cover 2.
So just mistakes. Stupid mistakes.
No, we can't blame. They beat us. There's no, mistakes, this, whatever. The safety played cover 1. That's my fault because we didn't have 11 guys playing the same coverage. We're using wristbands, and we changed the call because we thought we didn't want them knowing what we were doing. Anyway, it's my fault. I got to tell the safety. We have to be on the same page. We were not. There was 10 guys playing one thing, and one guy played something else, and cost us a touchdown. But we just didn't make enough plays to win. That's all there was to it. People like to blame Rex because he fumbled a couple of times. It wasn't Rex's fault. You can blame me and our defense if you want to blame somebody.
So what? I got to ask you. You have such a successful year that year. You go to the Super Bowl. What's it like not winning?
It was terrible, dude. Like, I remember in the huddle so we had the ball. We were down 22-17 with the ball with 5 minutes to go in the game, Matt. So we got a chance to win, and they get a pick 6. They end up beating us 29-17, and they get the ball back at the end with 2 minutes to go. And they're taking knees, and I got guys. I said, hey, I didn't say it like this. I was like, remember how you feel right now. Remember how you feel. Remember the score. Remember the situation. Remember this and use this because we're going to get back here. We never did.
Why not?
You just think we just couldn't get over the hump, man. We had some transition. We got to the NFC Championship 2010, lost to Aaron in Green Bay, and they went to win Super Bowl. We just never got back there. And the 2007 year, we were just as good, same team. We just didn't. We didn't make the playoffs. Like we were 7-9 or 8-8. We didn't get to the playoffs. Year after, same thing, and then we didn't get back to the playoffs until 2010. So it's hard. I think the moral of the story is it's hard to get back to that game unless you're Tom Brady, obviously. But it's something you never get over that loss. I don't think it's tough.
I got to ask you this question because I promised my buddy Adam Jasinski from Chicago. Jasinski, I mean, like, come on.
Jasinski, of course, he's from Chicago.
Exactly. He told me to ask you this, and I promised him I would. So, Adam, this one is for you. He wanted me to ask you, Brian, do you think the Super Bowl would have gone different if you were the quarterback instead of Rex Grossman?
Jasinski, is that his name?
Yeah.
Jasinski?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 106-0 if I was a quarterback instead of Rex Grossman. It would have been a lot uglier than it was. Don't blame Rex, Adam. It wasn't his fault.
You promise?
Dude, we gave up 200 yards rushing. Is that good? Tell me, Matt. And you're with your commentator voice. Is that good to give up 200 yards rushing?
Unfortunately, the Bears give up 200 yards rushing, and that is not the way to win the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
And also, another thing that made me mad is Thomas Jones, I think, had 11 or 12 carries, and he had 100 yards rushing, but he only had like 12 touches. That dude was a beast. Give Thomas the ball.
Yeah.
That was one thing that kind of irked me a little bit, but no, you can't give up that many yards to that offense and expect to win. That's all there is to it.
And honestly, dude, I really do appreciate how you are honest about it. You don't point fingers, and it's not like you're just saying that, and I could feel something underneath there, like, oh, well, he really wanted to say this. Like, no, dude, you're owning it.
No, we didn't play well on defense. That's all. I mean, you could see, and we were trending towards that, by the way, too, Matt. You could see. So we lost Tommy Harris in week 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. Mike Brown was out. Injuries are not excuses whatsoever. But we were trending in the wrong direction. Luckily, our offense carried us. We scored 39 points in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. We rushed for like 250. Rex threw three touchdowns, whatever it was. We busted. Oh, actually, I think he threw one. And Thomas rushed for 2. Cedric rushed for 2. We had a safety. We just played basically Bears football. And then, but we gave up some yards that game, which we normally didn't do. And even the game before that versus Seattle, we gave up like 24 points. Not good. So we were trending in the wrong direction. We were going in the wrong direction, buddy.
How do you come back? Because you still had, that was 2006. Dude, you would still be an All-Pro 2010, All-Pro 2011. You still had a lot of freaking good times ahead of you. How do you rebound, like mentality-wise, work ethic-wise? How do you rebound after such a tremendous big life loss?
It's football. You can't win every game. You can't win every game in football. It's just you got to bounce back, get ready the next. If you don't believe you can win the Super Bowl every year in the NFL, then you shouldn't be playing. Every year you go into the season, everyone's like, we're going to win it. We're going to win it. And after about week 3, there's only about 8 teams that can win it. But in your mind, every season you start over, you're like, we're going to be great this year. And that was my mindset. I wanted to obviously better myself. But as a team, you got to think you can win it all every year. And we traded for Jay in 2009. I was like, this is it. We got a quarterback who can get us over the hump, who can make this, he can do every throw, this and that. And we just, I got hurt that season. 2009, I missed the whole season. I dislocated my wrist.
Yep. And
then 11, Jay gets hurt. Jay tears his thumb up in week 10. We're 7-3. We end up 8-8. You don't think he meant something to our team? And then my last year, we were 10-6, and we missed the playoffs because Green Bay loses to Minnesota the last game of the year, which they never do, and knocks us out of the playoffs. But didn't matter. Should have won more games. Would have made it earlier.
Right. When you're talking about Jay, you're talking about Jay Cutler. There was some friction when y'all played together. Now you guys are friends. You go on his show and stuff. Go ahead.
So there wasn't friction. The media wants to make friction up because it's something to talk about. But he and I got along fine as teammates. There's some things that I didn't maybe approve of that he did, or the way he acted about certain things.
What?
But you know what?
Can you tell me?
Just the facial expressions, the way that people perceived, and I didn't see it because I was on the field. So I didn't see his facial expression. You'd always hear about it after the game. But I'll tell you one thing about Jay Cutler. That dude was tough. He tore his MCL, the 2010 AFC Championship game, tried to keep playing, was hurting our team because he couldn't throw the football. So the coaches pulled him out. He's on the sideline, obviously looking distraught, and people just jumped on like, oh, he quit on his team. No, he tore his MCL. The next year, dislocates his thumb or does something to his thumb the first half against San Diego, finishes the game with a dislocated thumb, gets surgery the next day, misses the rest of the season. So that dude was no punk. He was tough. If he wasn't in there, it's because he was really hurt. So I'll say that. But there's something, you don't get along with all your teammates the way you want to. That's just, I didn't get along with everybody. I tried to. But he played offense, I played defense. We didn't hang out off the field. We were cordial. He was funny, very witty. I'll give him that. Man, we played dodgeball one day on a Saturday morning in the locker room, Matt. It was always offense versus defense. Yeah. Because we always won. We always beat him. That's the way it was. Not. Anyway, Jay, for some reason, I took my shirt off that day. And maybe because it was hot in the locker room. Jay threw a dodgeball that left an imprint on my chest the size of a dodgeball. I had a big circle in my chest from where Jay hit me with the dodgeball. So yeah, we did that. He did that to me, but I had no problem with Jay. Just, people, the media like to drive things and this and that. I like him a lot more now. I'll tell you that much.
How do you lead grown men that are the best athletes in the world and that are multimillionaires? How do you get them to buy into what Brian Urlacher is saying and believing? Because in some sense, y'all are on the same playing field in life and stuff. Like, how do you get people to buy in? How do you lead?
So I was never a huge talker, Matt. I was show me. I wanted to go out there and practice every day and let them in the weight room. I was that guy that wanted, and I didn't learn from, you know who I learned from? Watching Olin Kreutz. Olin was our
UW, Washington.
UW, yeah. Olin Kreutz was probably there were some things he did that I questioned, obviously, but for the most part, Olin was the leader of our team. But I wanted to do it by example. I wasn't a rah-rah guy. You didn't hear me giving pregame speeches, nothing like that crap. I didn't believe in that stuff. If you weren't ready to play on Sunday, then you weren't ready to play. If you needed someone to hype you up before the game, you're doing the wrong damn thing. Get out there, get prepared during the week. Sunday was a bonus for the work you put in during the week. That's the way I looked at Sundays. It's you get to go play football for 3 hours because you busted your butt during the week. But yeah, I never did say a lot. Now I would, if guys screwed up, I would say things, and I expect them to do the same thing to me when I screwed up. So there was a lot of that, but I didn't. I wanted to be a lead by example guy when it came to football.
That's awesome. Lead by example. And then so we get to you announcing your retirement. A lot of times guys will get depressed when it's all over, especially you. You've been at at a high peak level. But I talked to you now. I've seen you in person. I met you for the first time a year and a half ago at the Hall of Fame event that we worked together and was super successful and fun. You don't seem sad. You seem happy. Like you really do feel like you have joy and like you ain't living in the glory days. Like you really are looking for, you love your kids, your wife, your family. Like was it hard for you to retire from football and go from, the best athlete and the best defensive player to you're retired, or no?
It's an adjustment because you get used to it's. I'm a routine guy. So you have that routine for 13 years of going to work. I needed that. I needed that get up and I needed purpose. I needed to get up and go work out. I needed to go run. I needed to go to the facility every day. That was my mindset to get better. And then all of a sudden, boom, you retire. Now what's your purpose? What are you going to do now? What's your new purpose in life? And I tried working. I did the TV thing. I worked for Fox. That was fun. I really enjoyed working with the guys I worked with. It was fun, but it just wasn't me. That's not. I'm not cut out for that. So then I told myself if I'm not getting bored, I'm not going to do anything until I get bored. And I haven't been bored. I ride my bike. Obviously, I have 3 kids that keep me busy. And when I was retired, they were younger. They were middle school and elementary school at the time. So that was obviously kept me busy. My wife has a lot of honey-do lists for me, so I do that stuff. But I love golf, by the way, too. I really love playing golf. So I haven't got bored. And I really am happy. I love my life. We have fun. Everything I do, I love fishing too, Matt, which you're going to find out when you go on the boat with us.
Yes, sir.
After your 72 kids get older. But yeah, I'm happy with my life. I wasn't happy right away. I still need to find what I needed to do.
How'd you do that?
To fill my time.
How did you find your purpose?
I think in time you figure it out. My purpose was my family, number one. My 3 kids. I wasn't married at the time when I retired. Jennifer and I hadn't got married yet. But my kids are my purpose. And when I went to work for Fox, I was gone 3 days a week. I was like, why did you retire to be gone in LA 3 days a week? Are you missing your kids' activities? Yes. Why the hell did you retire? So I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to be doing this still. So I just didn't find myself as a TV guy either. So I shut that down. And then we moved full time to Arizona. And then I was like, okay, now I can get in my routine. I can, do things that I want to do and actually have a lifestyle and a routine. We travel a lot as well. We do a bunch of things. My wife and I travel. The kids and I travel. We go to Florida quite a bit to fish. My kids love fishing. I'm awesome. So lucky because I can spend all day on the boat with them. And what's good about that is they're trapped with me. The phones don't work. There's none of this. Mm-hmm. They're trapped on the boat offshore with me. It's great. Awesome. And they love it.
What do you love about Jennifer, your wife? What keeps you interested in her?
Number one, she's gorgeous. And aside from that, you've seen the looks. She's smart. You know,
Right.
she challenges me every day. She's there's so many good things that she does. She runs our household. How about that? Because without her, I'd have a hard time getting things done, man. She's so organized. She's so like, if I have a trip coming up, she's like, here's your flight, here's your landing time, here's your rental car. I'm like, dang, thank you. She's so organized. She's so she takes care of me, she takes care of the kids, and she's a kid's stepmom, mind you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so she's never tried to be their mother. None of it. She wants to be their friend, and obviously not take their mother's place, but be there for them. If they need something, they can go to them. And I've always appreciated that about her because she's got a tough job. She's their stepmom, you know.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be. I can't imagine being a stepdad because it'd be tough. But yeah, she's just amazing. You know, she loves our animals. She's the caretaker of the animal. We have 2 donkeys. We have 2 cows. We have 5 chickens.
You got
We have our
2
3
donkeys.
Oh, bro!
I love
they're
watching
minis.
you and your chickens because you're like Rocky Balboa chasing them and they peck the crap out of your legs. It's hilarious.
It's just Sam, dude. Samantha. I think I know why Samantha hates me.
Why?
So when we got Samantha, we thought Samantha was a girl. We bought them. They're babies. You don't know how big they are when they're this big. They're all hens because we wanted eggs. 4 of them are girls. Sam, Antha is a dude. And I think Sam, him, her, they, them, whatever, he, she, has some issues with maybe his, her, gender. So he's mad at me because of that. So when I go in there, my man, and this happened like a month ago, the first time I turned my back to him, and all of a sudden I feel my leg. I'm like, what the? He's attacking my leg, like doing this thing with his wings and doing his talons at my leg. I turned around. He came back at me. I kicked him. Didn't stop him. Kept doing it. So now we're going to start getting it all on video. There's going to be some fights between me and Sam Antha in the future. But the girls are all nice to me. You know, the other chickens are cool, but Samantha's a real dick.
Oh, that's so freaking funny.
Such a jerk, man.
And you can tell you post some political stuff. You're kind of passionate about common sense and politics. Like,
common sense, you said it.
Yeah, common sense. It's gotten so far crazy that I think we're past. I think we're past being canceled now. Well, I'm not afraid to be canceled, but I think we're so far.
I don't give a crap either.
Yeah, I think we're so far past being canceled that the people who were canceling us are now starting to think like, yeah, we probably went a little too far on that. One of the things I saw that you talk about, which was fascinating to me, was how COVID disappeared last year during the NFL playoffs.
Wasn't that amazing how they figured it out? Who knew it just took the playoffs to get rid of the China virus? Who knew? That was amazing to me. There was not one positive test that we were made aware of in the playoffs. Why was that, Matt? How's that happen? All season long, you're watching the COVID list like, all right, who am I going to bet on now because this guy's out with COVID? That's going to change the line. Because I like to bet on sports, by the way. That's going to change the line. What do I do now? So, but then in the playoffs, zero. How's it happen? Why? How?
Why? You tell me.
Know.
Well, what
How
do you
did
think?
These grown men, athletic men who are all in the NFL, world-class athletes, not test positive for the China virus in the playoffs? Because they finally quit testing them because it doesn't matter because it's a cold. So to these guys, it's not going to affect them. They're different level athletes.
Right.
And people say what they will. I understand COVID affects some people differently, but these athletes, it's not going to affect them, especially the strain that they made up for that time of the year was not going to affect them. So they quit testing.
But you throw that out there. You said the strand that they made up. So you ain't buying in. Like, what are you buying into? Like, give me Brian Urlacher's philosophy on COVID.
How do you come out with these different strains every 6 months? Like, what creates a new strain? How do you name them? How do you, like, right now? There's another one out, right? They're having lockdowns and masking up indoors again in California, New York, Illinois.
The ninja virus.
Yeah, the ninja virus. I just don't get. I don't know what to think about it. Honestly, I don't. I mean, anything I hear on TV, I don't believe.
Did you get the jab?
I did not get it. No.
You shook your head yes, and you said no.
Well, that's a firm no, Matt. I did not get it. And
so if you were playing at the time and they mandated it, you would have said no?
I don't want to put something into my body. I know how my body reacts. My immune system's pretty damn good. And the one time I got it, I had no symptoms. I had a headache. I told you my body was weird, so I went and got tested. I had a headache, and I lost my sense of taste 4 days later. I had no fever. I had nothing else but a headache for one day, and that was it. My wife hasn't got it yet. Neither has my son. I don't understand it. Anyway, my daughters have got it. Riley's got it like 3 times now. But she beats it. But I've been all over. I haven't stopped my travel schedule. I've done everything I want to do. And I'm not going to change the way I live because I'm scared to get sick because of that. But I don't know, man. It's tough.
How do you think our current president, Joe Biden, is handling the country and COVID? Because he currently has it.
This is a really nice radio interview we have going right. I don't want to cuss on your interview, but I don't want to say bad things and mean things on our talk right now.
Eli is the bleep master. We had Brad Lee on here and we bleeped a lot.
I just don't understand how you go from how successful we were when Donald Trump was the president, and then this quickly, inflation's gone to 9-something%. COVID is here and there. The COVID thing, whatever, he doesn't even know what it is anymore. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't. Here's what my problem. One of my problems. So when we had all these crises going on, Donald Trump would get up there and answer questions. Anyone who asked a question, he would answer that question. It may take him an hour to answer, but he would go up there and he would fight for himself and fight for us and answer questions. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw Beijing Biden answering a question from like an open mic, like say there's just him up here, no handlers, talking to or asking questions from people that he didn't pick. You know, he has a card. I'm supposed to ask you a question now. Then I'm gonna ask you a question. Then I have to go. He doesn't like. There's no transparency. He obviously has planted questions in the media, and it's so different from watching Donald Trump face the media, and because the media is the only way we can see them, right? Mm-hmm. That's my perception of Joe Biden is through the media. My perception of Donald Trump is through the media, through my eyes. Obviously, I know all the bullshit they pull in the media, mm-hmm. But so when Joe Biden gets up there and reads these statements or doesn't answer one question from an actual media outlet company that actually I respect, it's hard for me to know who's really running the country because it's not him.
The fascinating thing for me is my friends and family who actually voted for Biden, how they just are quiet.
Boom.
And then those of us who, when 4 years or 2 years ago, for the 4 years that Donald Trump was in office, we got crucified, belittled. All of a sudden, they were the moral compass and we were the bad people. And now it's like all the stuff that they said Trump was is kind of happening to Biden in a lot of ways. And it's just like, no one talks about it.
Do you think President Trump would have mandated a jab for federal employees or anything like that, made you get a shot?
No, because that's government control, and he was against that.
But he's the dictator. They said Trump was a dictator. He didn't mandate a jab for people. Beijing Biden did that. He made sure that everyone gets the jab to do this and that or whatever. Everything they said Trump was, Biden is. I'm sorry, all the bad stuff. Because, it may not be Joe Biden because Joe, I don't know if Joe's really Joe anymore, honestly. He can't talk. He can't ride a bike. It's just, it's tough to watch, man. I feel bad for him, honestly. It's sad that his wife and his kids let the media do this to him or whoever's behind him do this to him, and they're okay with it because it's embarrassing watching him go try and speak to people without reading. Or even when he reads, it's embarrassing. But when he has to form a thought, he can't do it. It's impossible.
What do you think is going to happen in the midterms?
It's going to be a red wave, buddy. Unless, all signs lead to that. But can you really trust what's really going to happen? No. Have you seen 2,000 Mules?
No, but I've heard of it, and I heard it's fascinating. But is it another one-sided conspiracy theory thing, or is it the real deal?
It's facts. It's facts. It's you got to watch it. So I'm skeptical about stuff like that. I'm like, my wife is not. She believes she needs facts to believe it too. But once I watched that, I was like, holy crap!
2,000 Mules.
Watch it. Right. You're gonna have a really hard time finding it because they try to suppress it and make sure no one watches it. So you're gonna have to dig to find it. But once you find it and watch it, you're gonna be like,
"Where do I find it? On Netflix, Amazon?"
I have no idea. It's like I'll have my wife Jenny. I'll get it. I'll send you a link for it. It was hard to find, but once we found it, man, I was glued the whole time it was on. I was like, "Holy crap!" One thing, like everything adds up. It's amazing.
All right, before I let you go, so your brother Casey, he is a mayor in Illinois.
Yeah, Matawa, Illinois.
You are very.
Oh, by the way, bro, I'm a new uncle as of yesterday morning. Casey, who's 40. Come on, Casey's going to be 40. Wait, what month is this? Casey's going to be 43. Your age.
Yep.
Next month, and just had a new baby, another baby.
Congratulations, Casey.
Vivian. Vivian.
Baby
Cutie.
Vivian.
Yes.
So he's in politics. You are passionate about politics. Will there ever be a Governor Urlacher, a President Urlacher, a stout councilman? No.
I don't want to deal with that stuff. I like talking about it. I don't like talking about it, but I have strong opinions about it. You know what's crazy, Matt?
What?
So until the last 4 years, I could give a crap. I wasn't Republican. I wasn't Democrat. I didn't know. I didn't understand it enough. I didn't care until everyone started shoving everything in our face. I'm like, wait a minute. Then I was like, I like Donald Trump. Yeah, I like what he's doing up there. I like where our country's going because I never cared about it before then. And now it's so in your face all the time that you have to care. You have to have an opinion or you're nobody, I guess. It's so pushed in your face all the time. I just get tired of it.
What does the future hold for Brian Urlacher? You're only 44 years old. What does the next 44 years look like? What are you excited about?
I'm not going to make 44 more, I don't believe.
Don't say that. Come on. I'm sending you the Bible. The power of life and death is in your tongue.
Okay, all right. Listen up, Matt. So here's what I hope. I'm going to tell you about when I cannot fish, when I can't golf, when I can't ride my bike, and when I can't do one other thing. I'm not going to say what it is. I don't want to be here anymore. I told my wife.
Now I got to know what's the other thing.
What do you think it is?
Sex.
There you go.
All right. So then let me ask you a marital question. And I mean this. This is super important because a lot of people that listen to our podcast, like they like marital advice and this and that. So I'm going to ask you straight up.
Okay.
NFL football player, Hall of Famer to the highest level. And you've been married to your wife now 6 years, right?
6 years. Yep.
What keeps you attractive? Do you still get excited about making love to your wife, and why?
Hell yes.
Why?
I'm just so attracted to her. I've been attracted to her since the day I saw her, and it hasn't changed one bit in the last 13 years. It may even get more, just because she's so confident. I love how confident she is. I love how she carries herself, and she is a little. She's gonna kick my butt for saying this. She's like, oh, I'm bloated here. I'm like, what are you talking about? Look at you. You know, it's just, I'm just into her, man. She's the one chick, not that from day one, I've been into her no matter what.
That's
she can
awesome.
do, she's hot, man.
What does she do to keep her husband interested? This is for you ladies out there. Coming from a supermodel, married a football player, what does your wife do to keep you interested?
You know what? She's obviously she takes care of herself, but she puts me in my place. How about that?
Ooh.
She does not kiss my ass. She puts me in my place. I mean, we get along great, but there's times when we butt heads, and then when we butt heads, we make up like that. You know, we get into, we have our spats, we have this, but she does not kiss my ass. She stands her ground pretty much all the dang time. Doesn't ever give me my way, but she's so confident, and she's just she's great, man. I love her to death. She's awesome. She's been great for me. Like me getting my routine in my life in order had a lot to do with her.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and still keeps you on your toes, still keeps you attractive. You still get the butterflies.
She's hot, man. She's beautiful. And I love how she'll be wearing, she'll be out here picking up crap for the cows and stuff, and her little Crocs and her torn up jeans and her sports bra. I'm like, damn, look how good she looks out there. Sweating, got
look at
poop
those
everywhere.
Crocs with that chicken crap on her.
Look at it. And then 3 hours later, we'll be going to dinner. She'll have her little spandex. I'm like, whoa, man, look at you. Your hair's, I'm like, showered up. So she looks good to me all the time, man. Even when she wakes up, she looks great to me.
If like a week goes by and you don't have sex, you start to get a little angry?
Not anymore. I'm older, bro. I'm 44 now, so it's not the same. My drive is not the same as it used to be when I was a younger man. But we don't usually go a week without making sweet love to each other.
Yeah, you gotta, like my mom gave my wife a book before we got married. It was called Fascinating Womanhood. It's for you ladies out there. It's very old school.
Read it.
But it talks about how when you go to bed, have lipstick on and smell good for your husband, and just keep them interested. It's
Jennifer,
really good.
She smells good. She always smells good. Because she'll get to bed. I'm like, hey, what's going on over there? She always smells good. We have 3 dogs, by the way. So when we make our sweet love time, we have to have the treats ready in the freezer to make sure that the dogs don't try to harass us while we're making sweet love. Yes.
I love it. So you say you ride your bike. Is it just like a normal bike ride, or is it Peloton? What is that?
I have a Peloton, but it's not the same for me. I like to go outside. I do mountain biking. I do road biking. I have a canal. I have a gravel bike. I go on the canals. Today I went on the canals, 37 miles. Dude, it's like therapy for me, Matt. I put my headphones on, put my music on, and I just pedal. And I try not to get ran over if I can avoid it.
That's
or
awesome,
fall.
man.
I love it.
You are the man, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. What's on the horizon for Brian Urlacher besides fishing and golfing with Matt Rogers in the near future?
Yeah, you and I are going to do some of that. I don't know. Hopefully a bunch of the same things I've been doing so far, man. I got involved business-wise. I don't do a whole lot, but I did get involved with the card company or this app. It's called Ludex. And I was actually in Nashville promoting it. It scans your trading cards and tells you how much they're worth. Can you imagine cool. if as a kid, because I love trading cards. If I could just, boop, it's worth $6. Wow. I had people tell me I had 4 cards I thought were pretty solid. They're like, oh, those cards are worth $10 a piece. I was like, come on, really? I'm the richest man ever. I went down to the place. The guy was like, yeah, we'll give you $6 for them. I was like, what? Total $6? But yeah, this app is unreal. It's going to change the way vendors and people who are in that industry organize their cards and how they look at things. It's amazing. It's been
That's
great
awesome.
so far. So
and you have shares in that company?
Yeah, I'm an investor. I love it. They're awesome. And the guy who started it's a buddy of mine too, so it works out good. Good dude.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, man, for coming on Level Up. You definitely took it to the next level. I appreciate
Thank you for having me.
I'm really, really looking forward to kicking it with you, hanging out next time you come in Nashville and going golfing with you. And I'm not going to fall for your snake trick.
We're going fishing. More important, the golf's great. Fishing's the move.
All right,
It's
down.
the best. It's the greatest. You get seasick, right? You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Just drink more. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
You are the man.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Brian Urlacher, another edition of Level Up. Took us to the next level, Eli.
Yes, sir.
We talked about everything. Politics, football, Hall of Fame, and sweet lovemaking, even after 6 years.
All the good stuff.
I love it. And thank you for joining us. If you liked this or you're a massive Bears fan, football fan, please like, subscribe, and share. And make sure you continue to promote your wife, promote your husband, your marriage, level up your spouse. How about that? And continue watching Level Up every single week. Every Wednesday, we release a new episode. Please like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate you so much. Eli, I love you. 10 Bears Production does it the best, and it's available for you as well. Thank you for joining us for another week of Level Up.